Will they stay or will they go? Amorim's bold stance on United's unwanted stars. Picture this, you're running a football club, and you have 4 talented players who want to leave. Do you let them go for cheap just to get rid of them? Or do you stand firm and risk having unhappy players in your squad? This is exactly the situation Ruben Amorim finds himself in at Manchester United right now. The Portuguese manager has made his position crystal clear on Antony, Alejandro Garnacho, Jadon Sancho, and Tyrell Malacia. His message is simple: pay up or they stay. The current situation at Old Trafford. Let's be honest here. These 4 players haven't exactly set the world on fire at United recently. Antony arrived with huge expectations but struggled to live up to his price tag. Garnacho showed flashes of brilliance but has been inconsistent. Sancho's relationship with the club has been rocky for months, and Malacia has barely featured due to injuries and form issues. So why is Amorim so determined to keep them unless their full value is met? The answer might surprise you. Amorim's smart business approach. When Amorim spoke to reporters recently, he didn't mince his words. He made it clear that United won't be pushed around in the transfer market anymore. I know for a fact Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox and the club have a number for these players. If they don't reach that, they will be Manchester United players. No doubt about that. This isn't just about money, though. It's about setting a precedent. For too long, United have been seen as a soft touch in the transfer market. Clubs know they can lowball offers and eventually get their man. Amorim is saying those days are over. But here's the interesting part. He's not just digging his heels in out of stubbornness. The manager genuinely believes these players can contribute if they stay. I'm ready to receive the players, he said. I'm happy with that because I'll have more options. What this means for each player. Let's break down what's happening with each of these 4 players and what their futures might hold. Alejandro Garnacho, the homegrown talent. Garnacho represents pure profit for United under financial fair play rules because he came through their academy. That makes him valuable not just as a player but as a business asset. Aston Villa want him badly but can't meet United's asking price. Chelsea are also sniffing around, but they need to sell players first. The big question is, does Garnacho really want to leave? He's still young and has shown glimpses of real quality. Maybe a fresh start under Amorim could reignite his United career. The winger has pace, skill, and an eye for goal. In the right system, he could be exactly what United need. Antony, the expensive gamble. Antony's time at United has been disappointing. Let's not sugarcoat it. He cost a fortune but hasn't delivered consistent performances. His loan spell at Real Betis showed he still has talent, but questions remain about whether he fits the Premier League. Saudi Arabian clubs are reportedly interested, which could solve everyone's problems. The money would be good, and Antony might thrive in a different environment. But if no suitable offer comes in, Amorim seems genuinely willing to give him another chance. Jadon Sancho, the complicated case. Sancho's situation is perhaps the most complex. His falling out with previous management created a toxic atmosphere, but sometimes a clean slate with a new manager can work wonders. Juventus want him, but they're waiting to make sales before they can move. The England international has undeniable talent. His pace, creativity, and finishing ability are all top class when he's on form. The question is whether Amorim can get the best out of him where others have failed. Tyrell Malacia, the forgotten man. Malacia has been almost invisible at United due to injuries and poor form. His loan spell at PSV Eindhoven didn't exactly set the world alight either. But left-backs are expensive, and United might struggle to find a replacement if he leaves. Sometimes players just need time to adapt. The Premier League is tough, and not everyone hits the ground running. If Malacia stays, this could be his chance to finally show what he can do. The bigger picture. What this says about United's new direction. Amorim's stance on these players tells us a lot about how United plan to operate going forward. Gone are the days of panic selling and accepting whatever offers come in. This is a club that's finally learning to value its assets properly. But it's not just about the money. Amorim genuinely believes in squad depth and competition for places. If they have to fight each other to play, for me it's perfect, he said. This is a manager who understands that having options is crucial for a long season. The appointment of Omar Barada as CEO and Jason Wilcox as Director of Football shows United are serious about running the club more professionally. These aren't just football decisions anymore. They're business decisions made by people who understand both sides of the game, the risks and rewards. Of course, this strategy isn't without risks. What if these players become disruptive influences in the dressing room? What if their value drops even further if they're not playing regularly? What if keeping them prevents United from signing better replacements? These are all valid concerns, but Amorim seems confident he can handle whatever comes. His track record at Sporting CP suggests he's good at managing difficult situations and getting the best out of players others have written off. On the flip side, the rewards could be significant. If even one of these players rediscovers their form, United could have a valuable asset on their hands. And if they all stay and fight for their places, the competition could bring out the best in everyone. What the fans think. United fans are divided on this issue, and you can understand why. Some want these players gone at any price, arguing they've had enough chances and it's time to move on. Others believe in giving them one more opportunity under a new manager who might unlock their potential. The truth is probably somewhere in between. These players clearly have talent, or they wouldn't have ended up at United in the first place. But talent alone isn't enough at this level. They need the right environment, the right system, and the right mentality to succeed. Amorim seems to believe he can provide all three. Whether he's right remains to be seen, but his confidence is encouraging for United fans who are desperate to see their club return to the top. The transfer window reality. We're now deep into the transfer window, and time is running out for clubs to make their moves. United have already brought in Matheus Cunha and Brian Bumo to strengthen their attack, showing they're not afraid to spend when they identify the right targets. But they're also being smart about who they let go. Marcus Rashford's loan move to Barcelona shows they're willing to help players find new opportunities when it makes sense for everyone involved. The difference with Rashford was that Barcelona met United's terms. Other clubs hoping to sign Garnacho, Antony, Sancho, or Malaysia on the cheap might be in for a shock. United aren't desperate to sell, and they're not going to be bullied into accepting low offers. Looking ahead, what happens next? So what happens if these four players are still at United when the transfer window closes? Amorim has made it clear he'll welcome them back with open arms. But actions speak louder than words, and it will be interesting to see how he integrates them into his plans. The preseason tour of the United States is already underway without these players. But that doesn't mean they can't still play a part in United's season. Football is unpredictable, and injuries or poor form from other players could quickly create opportunities. The key will be the players' attitudes. If they sulk and cause problems, Amorim will have to deal with that firmly. But if they knuckle down and fight for their places, everyone could benefit. Final thoughts. A new era at Old Trafford. Amorim's handling of this situation gives us a glimpse into the new Manchester United. This is a club that's learning to be tough in negotiations while also showing faith in its players. It's a delicate balance, but one that could pay dividends if executed correctly. The Portuguese manager clearly isn't afraid of difficult decisions or challenging situations. His message to these four players is simple. Prove you want to be here, or find someone willing to pay what United think you're worth. For too long, United have been seen as a club that makes emotional rather than logical decisions. Amorim's approach suggests those days might be coming to an end. Whether this new strategy works remains to be seen, but it's certainly refreshing to see United finally standing firm in the transfer market. The coming weeks will be crucial. Will other clubs meet United's asking prices? Will these players accept their fate and fight for their places? Or will this standoff continue until the very last day of the transfer window? One thing is certain, Ruben Amorim isn't backing down. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what Manchester United needed all along.